Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors Brandon Podziemski reveals mission issued by Steve Kerr. The Golden State Warriors have made their bed. Instead of trading away some of their promising young players, such as Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga, for immediate help in the form of either Paul George or Lauri Markkanen, the Warriors decided that keeping them and hoping they blossom into the stars they need to give Stephen Curry another chance at a ring was their best course of action. Now, this entails a lot of responsibilities on the shoulders of both Podziemski and Kuminga. Podziemski, in particular, appears to be on track for a starting job after the Warriors let longtime shooting guard Klay Thompson walk in free agency. With this role, however, comes certain requirements from head coach Steve Kerr, with Podziemski revealing what Kerr is asking of him as the 2024-25 campaign inches ever more closely. A big focus for them was me shooting more threes. I don't know what I shot, but I shot a pretty good percentage. I just didn't get up enough attempts, Podziemski said, per Anthony Slater of The Athletic. They want me to take anywhere from 8 to 10 per game. That's what they told me. All different types, off-dribble handoffs, off-ball screens, catch and shoot. The Warriors have grand plans to unlock Brandon Podziemski's game even further, and getting him to hoist up more triples might be the most obvious way for them to get his scoring up from the 9.8 points per game he averaged in his rookie campaign. Podziemski shot efficiently from deep last season anyway, at 38.5%, but he shot just 3.2 attempts per night. Could he maintain that same kind of efficiency once he ups his volume? Nevertheless, Podziemski is nothing if not confident. With the touches freed up by the departures of Klay Thompson and Chris Paul, the runway is there for the 21-year-old guard to become an even more impactful player for the Warriors in his sophomore season. I think I can get to that amount. The reason they said that is because I'd be watching film last season after every game, and it's always on there, missed three-point opportunity that I didn't take. There were a good 2 to 4 each game that I passed up. If you look at that, it's a good 5 to 7 per game I could have got up, Podziemski added. Now with Klay being gone, Chris, Paul, being gone, someone is going to have to handle the ball a little bit more. I think I'm more than capable of doing that. Given that, I think it leads me to have more threes. The Warriors may not have gotten top-shelf talent to come to the team this past offseason, but they made up for it by acquiring plenty of players who could make a case for a significant role in the rotation. They signed Anthony Melton and Buddy Hield, 2 nominal shooting guards, while they also added Kyle Anderson, another forward. Thus, there is a bit of a logjam for the Dubs across multiple positions. But given how high the Warriors regard Brandon Podziemski, he seems to be the favorite to be number 1 in the shooting guard pecking order with an opportunity to play spot minutes at the point as well when Stephen Curry needs a breather. Warriors told young player he wouldn't be traded amid Markkanen rumors. Brandon Podziemski, a second-year player for the Golden State Warriors, said he was told by owner Joe Lacob that he had nothing to worry about amid rumors he could be part of a package used to acquire Utah Jazz star Lauri Markkanen. He told me, "You don't have anything to worry about. You're a priority here," Podziemski told The Athletic's Anthony Slater in an August 28 story. "I appreciate that. Being a rookie and going into my second year, hearing that from such a prestigious organization. It feels good. I'm wanted somewhere. So, I appreciate them." Markkanen eventually signed a 5-year extension on August 13, putting an end to widespread rumors that Podziemski was a potential trade candidate. "They could keep me in the dark until a trade is done," Podziemski said, according to Slater. But Mike Dunleavy, general manager, and Joe were transparent, from the draft to the Paul George situation to the Markkanen situation. Podziemski will now face even more pressure than he already would have dealt with as a young NBA player. He told Slater that he'd heard the fans, media, and others question the Warriors' decision not to trade him. From a fan perspective, from a media perspective, there is this looking at the front office kind of crazy, Podziemski said. Like, you didn't make any trades? You want to keep Brandon? Why him? There are questions that obviously the public and the media has. I see my fair share of it. It's cool, and it's not. It's cool to see you're valued by another organization in the NBA for such a good player like Markkanen. But at the same time, now that the trade didn't go through, people on social media look at it like it's my fault. I don't have anything to do with it. But it's cool. Podziemski's pressure will be on performing at a level similar to what Markkanen would have done for the Warriors. Markkanen, 27, averaged 23.2 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 2.0 assists last season. He also shot 39.9% from three-point range on 8.0 attempts per game. In his rookie season, Podziemski averaged 9.2 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 3.7 assists on average of 26.2 minutes per game. If the holdup in a deal with the Jazz was Podziemski for Markkanen, the Warriors seemingly have plenty of trust in the 21-year-old to turn into an elite-level player. While Podziemski played well in his rookie campaign, Markkanen could have been the perfect win now, as well as long-term, player for the Warriors. In a post-Stephen Curry era, Markkanen could have been the next face of the franchise. Podziemski will hope to become that one day. Despite the pressure, Podziemski said he wasn't nervous to exceed expectations and would continue to be himself. I think for me, anything in life, if you do something good, with good comes expectation, Podziemski said, according to Slater. I mean, I won't go into games thinking about it. I just know what I've done all off-season, so I know how much better of a player I'm going to be. Obviously, I have expectations for myself to perform. This is my job. But I don't think there's any nervousness to exceed expectations. I'm just going to be me. A highlight of the national team, Caboclo participates in training with the Warriors for their return to the NBA. One of the highlights of the Brazilian team, center Bruno Caboclo agreed to participate in training monitored by the Golden State Warriors until Thursday, 29, in San Francisco, California, in the United States. The player's intention is to return to the NBA, where he played from 2014 to 2021 for some teams. He will train with the Golden State Warriors until Thursday with the aim of signing a contract, and he believes he will do it, Caboclo's agent, Daniel Hazan, told Sports Channel, an Israeli website. The Israeli media is monitoring the case because Caboclo had an agreement to play for Hapoel Tel Aviv ISR until the 2024-2025 season. The player previously played for Partizan SER. The 2024-2025 NBA season will begin on October 22. The team is led by coach Steve Kerr and has point guard Stephen Curry as its star. Bruno Caboclo, 28 years old, started his career at Pinheiros. The player stood out at a young age and reached the NBA drafted by the Toronto Raptors in 2014. Then, between comings and goings in the NBA and the G League, Caboclo remained in the league until January 2021. He played for the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, G League, Raptors 905, G League, Sacramento Kings, NBA, Reno Bighorns, G League, Rio Grande Valley Vipers, G League, Memphis Grizzlies, NBA, Memphis Hustle, G League, and Houston Rockets, NBA. After leaving the NBA, Caboclo played for teams such as Linges FRA, Sao Paulo, Capitães de Cidade de Mexico, G League, Racing Olmale, Humana Rier Venezia ITA, and Partizan SER. In 2022, between his stints in Sao Paulo and Capitães, Caboclo signed with the Boston Celtics. However, the player was released in less than a month, before the start of the 2022-2023 season. The pivot has played for the Brazilian national team since 2017. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Bruno Caboclo? Leave your opinion in the comments.